Hi, thanks for joining us on our Facebook page. Thought I'd give you another little marriage tip here, right live on our Facebook page. Proverbs 5:18 and 19 is a scripture that I've fell in love with and used through the years. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. You know, as life goes on and things change, and things will change, sometimes you think love is changing. But here's the thing, you're in charge of that romantic, emotional love. The agape love of God that dwells in our spirit is always the constant, always the same. But you have a choice to make whether you want to be in love with your spouse. You know, as time goes on and kids come along and jobs change and schedules change, there's a lot of change that's going to take place in your life. And you have to make a decision. So I decided when we were going through things and maybe things weren't as romantic and they weren't the way I thought they were going to be, that I looked at this verse 19 and said, you know, be thou ravished always with her love. I just decided that I was just going to love my wife, and I was going to keep loving her as much as I loved her when I fell in love with her before we got married. Scientists tell us there's a chemical that's released when you fall in love and get married. It lasts for 18 months. And you know, you've heard people say love is blind. That's what happens. That chemical gets released. You can't see anything wrong with your spouse. Everything's perfect. It doesn't matter, you know, what faults they may have. You just kind of overlook them. But then one day you wake up and all that's gone. And so you have to make a decision. I decided I was just going to be ravished with the love of my wife. I was just going to continue to love her the way I fell in love with her. I was going to stay in love with her. And I wasn't going to let anything change that. I wasn't going to let her change it. I wasn't going to let friends or relatives change it. I wasn't going to let the circumstances change it. I wasn't going to let, you know, schedules and kids coming along and all the things that happen. I wasn't going to let anything change that. I just decided that I was going to stay in love with my wife. And let me tell you, love like that is a decision. You have to decide to stay in love. If you don't make that decision when you're young and when you first get married, there's a chance that you will make a decision not to be in love. And here's the thing, it won't always feel great. It won't always, you know, be all romantic and nice and sweet like it was when you first got married and when you first started your life. But let me tell you something, if you decide to have that kind of love, to be ravished with the love of your spouse, and you make that decision, especially if both of you can make that decision, hey, you can make it through anything, and your love can stay strong. That marriage, your marriage love can stay strong. Not just the agape of God that's in your spirit, but your marriage love. So let me encourage you today, make that decision. If you haven't made that decision, make it now. If you're not married, make that decision now. If you're already married, make the decision now. If you've had some rough spots and you say, man, I'm not sure if I'm still in love with my wife or my husband, just go to Proverbs 5:19 and read it. Be thou. It says you be thou. That's an act of your will. It's not God saying I'm going to do it for you. You have to do this. Make a decision. I'm going to love like I loved when we first fell in love. And if that's not there, I'm going to do something to make it come back. But be ravished with your love. Make the decision to be in love. God bless you.